Hi everyone, my name's David Coombes, CTO of ThinScale Technology, and I'd like to welcome you to the Tech Blueprint. In this series, we'll be focusing on endpoint security, and we'll be sharing practical strategies to help you protect your environment from both internal and external threats. We're going to kick off the series with a couple of episodes focusing on endpoint security, specifically related to connecting to VDI environments. I'll say no more, let's jump straight in. So today we're going to be talking about endpoint security and VDI. Now, I'm often asked the question, do I need endpoint security? Do I need to worry about endpoint security when all I'm using my endpoint for is to connect to a VDI? Now, we all know that using VDI in your organization will massively improve your security posture. All of your applications will run inside the VDI. The data that they're accessing remains inside the VDI. So very little actually leaves your organization and gets to the endpoint that you're actually sat in front of. But there are a couple of things that the endpoint does do. You obviously need to see what's going on your endpoint. So you have the monitor connected to your endpoint, seeing the screen of the VDI. And of course, you have to interact with that VDI. So the keyboard and the mouse here that's connected to my endpoint is sending keystrokes and mouse movements up to that VDI. So today we're just going to have a quick look at a demonstration of some keyloggers. We've got just a couple of keyloggers we're going to launch, and we're going to see how easy it is to capture all of the keystrokes I'm pressing on my endpoint that are being captured and sent up to that VDI. So over on our test machine here, as I said, we've got two keyloggers we're going to be using today. I've got a standard keylogger that's it's just something I googled and found on the internet, and the advanced keylogger, I just took that standard keylogger, made it a little bit better, and we're calling that the advanced keylogger for today's purposes. So we will just get both of these fired up. A bit smaller, and our advanced keylogger, we'll just bring that down here, and we will just check that they are both capturing. Are they both capturing? Okay, yep, both of our keyloggers have just captured what I just typed into the local notepad here. So for today's quick demonstration, I'm just going to be using Horizon. So I've got the Horizon client installed here. I'm going to connect through to our desktop. I'll use our demo user and our super secure password. Okay. So if we just have a look here, we can already see that so both actually the standard keylogger here has captured my username and my password in plain text, so that's not great. And the same down here with the advanced keylogger, we can see the username and password here. We'll just connect through to our desktop. Okay. And if I just launch a notepad in here, are they both still capturing? So as we can see, the advanced keylogger here has successfully captured the keystrokes being sent to the VDI. But if we look at the standard keylogger, it's not been able to do it. It's stopped at where I entered the password. So anything I've typed into the VDI window, the standard keylogger's not been able to capture. So that's a good thing. But yeah, the advanced one here, yes, we can see that it's still doing that. And I think if we just pop this into full screen mode as well. So even in full screen mode, we can see that the advanced keylogger is still capturing it. It's set to always on top, which is why you can see it over the top of the full screen Horizon desktop here. Okay, let's just exit that one. We'll disconnect, and we'll disconnect from here. Now, the VDI vendors have actually started building in protections into their clients. Omnissa have done the same. So if we jump over here to security, we can see that they have actually built in a keylogger blocking feature. I'll go ahead and turn that on, Do need to restart the client, so we'll go ahead and do that. And once again, we'll just connect through. So we'll use demo user again and our super secure password. So now if we look at our standard keylogger, so again, we can see it was capturing the keystrokes, but this is that protection kicking in now. The protection is actually obfuscated all the keys that I've pressed, so obviously not in plain text anymore, so that's great, that's working really well. But down here again in our advanced keylogger, we can see that yeah, it's still able to capture the credentials that I typed in plain text there. And then we'll do the same, we'll connect back to our desktop. Still capturing. Again, as before, the standard keylogger wasn't able to capture anything that I've typed into the desktop window here, but the advanced keylogger, even with that keylogging protection turned on in the client, I'm still able to capture in plain text everything that I'm typing into that VDI. So there we go. It's just a quick demonstration. As you can see, I mean, obviously I'm intentionally trying to capture these keystrokes. I've manually installed these keyloggers on my desktop here. I've manually launched them, but you know, what if I was an unsuspecting user? You know, imagine I'd been infected by a keylogger and I didn't even know. And you know, it doesn't have to have a UI. It could just be sat there in the background, silently capturing everything that I'm typing and therefore typing into my VDI. Even worse, you know, that keylogger might actually be sending every keystroke you're typing off to some server on the other side of the world somewhere. So yeah, there we go. Quick demonstration on how easy it is just to fire up some keyloggers on an endpoint. So back to, you know, that question I asked at the beginning of the video. Do I need to worry about endpoint security, and do I need endpoint security if I'm just using the desktop to connect, my endpoint to connect to a VDI? Absolutely, 100% every time. You know, keylogging is one example, and as we've seen, the vendors are building in protections to prevent against this sort of stuff. But you know, keyloggers are advancing all the time. Different mechanisms, different ways of doing things are being discovered, and you know, these protections, there's always going to be a way to bypass them. So yeah, good endpoint security is always required. You know, even if you're just using that endpoint to connect to VDI. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.